to Founder. I am Arianna, founder of More Magazine. We work to make opportunities reachable for everyone by curating content that will educate, inspire, and call people to action. As a proud Kelly alum, I am so excited to share that along with Indie Maven, we've partnered with Indiana University Kelley School of Business Evening MBA as we continue to interview female founders in our Indianapolis community. Whether you're ready to deepen your knowledge after a few years in the field or you're looking to expand your experience-filled resume, you can be ready for whatever life brings with the top-ranked Kelley School of Business Evening MBA program in downtown Indianapolis. In 24 months, while you work, you'll learn to make better decisions, chart success for organizations, and unlock the talent of people. You'll find your passion and you'll be prepared as new doors of opportunity open. Learn more by clicking the link in the description below. So, as I mentioned, we have partnered with Indie Maven as well, and so that is how I got the pleasure of getting on your calendar today. Stephanie is the founder and owner of Send a Friend a Lasagna, and so to get us started, I'm going to let her introduce herself.
Hi, I am Stephanie with Send a Friend Lasagna. I started my business in 2019 before the pandemic hit, and I was in social media marketing for 10 years before I decided to make the leap into lasagna. It was, it's just been the craziest thing. I'm so excited to be here and to talk to you about it.
That is so nice of you to say. I'm so jazzed, and I've been looking forward to this all week. Honestly, longer than that. I was out with some girlfriends last weekend, and I was like, you're never going to guess who I'm interviewing next for our founder to founder. So,
stop.
Super geeked. I will shamelessly fangirl over everyone I get to talk to because it means so much because I know how busy it can be being a business owner, and so to make time and space for that, speaking of space.
It's important, yeah, but this is cool, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's 100%. I was reading the About page, prepping as we do, and I loved how you said when your grandparents opened the restaurant that you were like, I walked around acting like I owned it. And
I did.
Today I was talking with some other young women about confidence and confidence in yourself as you are in your career. Can you speak to that?
I think it was just foolishness, or just like, I think that I knew my grandparents owned the restaurant, so I just figured there were no rules, right? I was just going to do whatever I want, and I'm a salesperson by nature. I've done sales for a really long time, so it's just I would walk around to people's tables and tell jokes, and they would look at me like, who are you? Go away. And I would go back in the kitchen and yell at cooks. So yeah, I would go behind the bar and pour myself a Coke and walk around. I mean, back in the 80s, that was acceptable. So
yeah. I love that. I love that so much. But I mean, I think it's so cool to think about the confidence that it takes to start something that is your own. About how far in your career were you before you started Send a Friend a Lasagna?
Wow. So I worked in the insurance business for about 13 years. I got married at a really early age, and to my first husband. My parents, told me I need to get a real job, so I worked at an insurance company, and my mom was there to kind of cover or whatever, and so I was there, and then I decided that corporate life was not really my thing, and I went to agencies, and I did that, like I said, for 13 years. It was really my identity. I mean, I really didn't think I was going to do anything else besides insurance. So, and then in 2008, when the market crashed and the company I was working with had some stuff, some issues, and so they let me go. And I was devastated. I was really devastated. So I had this friend of mine say, well, you're kind of good, because this is back when Facebook was the Facebook, and Twitter was just brand new, and they were like, you're kind of good at social media. Have you ever thought about doing that? And I was like, wait a minute, people actually pay people to do that? And they're like, yeah. So I worked at a couple of agencies and just got some great experience and met some incredible, just amazing people. And I was working for Jen Lisak, who owns Sapphire Strategy, and so I kind of accidentally fell into this whole lasagna thing. Cooking has always been like a passion of mine, and I've always made lasagna, but I never thought it would become like this thing. But it's really kind of cool.
That is awesome. So many questions I want to ask you. But we'll go to lasagna after. I know being in a career, and I feel like this is applicable to different parts of your life. It can be relationships, it can be marriages, it can be school, or like the path that you're on. What is that like, leaving something that is so familiar and that you've done for so long, like 13 years in insurance?
Well, I really didn't have a choice with the insurance thing, so it was kind of pedaling around, looking at other insurance places, and my husband was like, why don't you just wait and see if there's something that you really want to do other than insurance, because I was pretty jaded by what happened. I was the top sales producer in the state, and was let go, so that was tough. Yeah.
I imagine.
Yeah, but I found a home in social media, great friends, and like I said, I've always made lasagna for people, and food is kind of my passion. I was like, I love like the Food Network shows. I remember watching Emerald when he was like the first person. He was like, bam, and I thought that was so awesome. And
Yes.
like I love Beat Bobby Flay, and I love like Iron Chef, the guy, and just the whole thing. So I've always kind of like challenged myself. It was like a hobby. Food was like a hobby to me. But I did have that restaurant background, but I didn't think that I would ever want to own a restaurant, because that is for the brave. I am not brave. So
I think you're very brave. I will take that for you.
okay, all right. But I made a lasagna for a friend that his wife had passed away, and she was really young, and it was terrible. It was really sad, and I said I didn't know what to do, so I brought you a lasagna. And I was talking to my cousin about it, and she was like, it sounds like I said something about sending a friend lasagna. And she was like, that sounds like a business. And I was like, really? You think? And so, yeah, that's where it all kind of started, just kind of a brainstorm thing. And I was like, I could deliver them to people. Maybe I could, have different kinds. And it's just been crazy. It's just been wild, yeah.
That is incredible. That's like how it started. I mean, I feel like when something does happen, like it's just being there for people and showing up for them. And so I love that, like even in just the name, it's like you're sending a friend a lasagna. And like,
Well, you can send yourself a lasagna too. I mean,
Right.
There's no rules with lasagna, but yeah, everybody's like, can I send one to myself? I'm like,
no, which I think is so cool. I know the ways that I've heard about it before getting to be an Indie Maven and to meet you. I had some friends who were like, hey, like if you want to do something, like this is kind of something you can do for people. And I just thought that part of it was really neat. Especially like as a business, it's very, I feel like, warm and fuzzy, whereas sometimes when I think of business, I think not warm and fuzzy.
right. Well, I'm a warm and fuzzy kind of person, and I love, one of the things that I love the most is I know that I'm helping someone, and it can be like super exciting when somebody has a baby or something like that, or something, kind of sad, like what happened with my friend. And, lasagna is very comforting, it's very delicious.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people like to make it. I do. So that helps for sure.
That's
Yeah.
cool. So what is something coming up that you are excited about with Center for Lasagna?
I'm so excited about my Mother's Day promotion. So I've done this for 3 years now, and it is one of our 9x13 lasagnas, where you can order a flight. And then I partnered with Wildwood Blooms. Wildwood Market is in Fountain Square, and they're going to do my flowers, and we do fresh flowers and lasagna for moms. And it's so awesome. It's just so great. I love it.
That is so cool, and I mean, Wildwood Market is awesome. I think they just started doing the blooms last spring, I believe, and there was a Yelp Indie event, so I got to stop through and see the flowers, and that is awesome. So I mean, I love the way that you work in the community collaboration. So do you always work with another business?
Yes, I always work with, a local indie business. So yeah, I try to keep it, Indie Maven or Linking Indie Women, somewhere in there I try to keep it always, I try to do women-owned business. So like for Valentine's Day I did heart-shaped cakes with Cindy from Circle City Sweets. And Mother's Day I always do like a local florist. So yeah.
That is awesome. So you said about 3 years now. So you've been doing this special since you started then? Okay. How did that idea come about?
I'm a marketer by heart. I mean, I'm a marketer, sales by training. And when I started, COVID had, come, it was there like in March. And so May, you couldn't go anywhere.
Right.
You couldn't do anything. And people were in their houses. They were scared.
Yeah.
But they still wanted to reach out to their moms and let them know that they loved them.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, I can take them lasagna. What else do you get from others for Mother's Day? Flowers. So, and I package it in a really nice way and it gets delivered and the smiles on, I will never forget the first year that we did it, the smiles on people's faces. It was so touching and so heartwarming in a really difficult time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's really cool. How is it being like a business owner in the community? And we were talking about this before we started the interview. Like you've had such an awesome year. You've had so much well-deserved recognition. You've been growing. What has that been like?
Intense. It's intense. I mean, I was on with Sherman and my website crashed 3 times that day. So that was interesting. I, done Indie Now and they were wonderful. I mean, it just is so, it just blows my mind that people think it's just like this incredible thing. And it is, I know it is, but it's like, I don't know, it just blows my mind still. It's just like, wow, really? And I will never get tired of hearing people say they love my lasagna. I will never get tired of that. So yeah, it's crazy. It's a dream come true, really.
That is so cool. So we've talked a lot about like women in the community and different organizations. What are some of the orgs that you are involved with? And can other people get involved in those?
Oh, absolutely. So Indie Maven, they're amazing. It's just a great group of very forward-thinking women. Love them. And Linking Indie Women, again, just a very forward-thinking group of women. A lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of just women that want to know and grow more. And then there's Indie Food Women, that group, and that's just like a food group. I mean, the energy that we all bring, it's like, wow. I mean, it's electric. It's amazing. So, yeah. And I work with Coburn Place. I don't know if you knew that or not. So yeah, I am involved in that. But that's pretty much it. I mean, I try to give where I can, give back where I can. So I do the donations to like I don't know, silent auctions or whatever. So yeah, just those kinds of things.
That's really cool. What advice would you have for somebody who's thinking about starting their own business?
Well, I did, I was like 13 years in the insurance business and then 10 years in social media marketing, and I'm gonna be 50 soon. So
never know.
It's true. But I really want you to, it's never too late. And I was one of those people, it's like, you're late, it's too late, right? But honest to God, just everything that has happened over the last 3 years, I just believe that it's never too late to go after your dreams. And if you have something that you're really passionate about and you think about it all the time, you feel it in your heart and you feel it in your soul and you just can't stop thinking about it, you should do it. And don't let anybody tell you you can't. Because I make lasagna for people and deliver it. I mean, that's a crazy business idea, but it works.
I love that, and it's always so encouraging to hear like you can do what you want to do. You just have to trust yourself. But I feel like that sometimes is like
It's
the
so
hardest
hard.
thing for me. I mean, we were even talking about before. I spent money on mics for the first time ever. Like, I feel like it's so scary sometimes to like invest in yourself or invest in like what you're doing,
Oh my
because it's
gosh.
like, what happens if this like doesn't work?
Right. I mean, I had to hire a delivery driver, right? Because I was making lasagna, and then I was delivering them too, and I was going mad. I mean, it was crazy, right?
Yeah.
It was completely crazy. So, it is trusting yourself enough to think, you know, if I only do 5 lasagnas, you know, one day, that'll be okay. It'll, you know, it'll be fine. So,
Yeah.
and it's a hard thing, especially since I'm very type A and I'm a control freak and all those things. So, yeah, it's hard. But yeah, great advice from Indiana owned too. I'm sorry, Mel McMahon. Mel is like, you know, you have to invest to grow, and it's true. And it was a really hard pill for me to swallow, but it is very true.
Yeah. And it can also be scary too, like adding somebody else on, like even like a driver, like kind of letting go of something and like, but it's again to help you grow and to give you more peace of mind, so then you can continue putting yourself into the business.
Yeah, I still make every single one of my lasagnas, though. I think that's insane. But yeah,
That is wild. I just know how long that time takes, because like you said, not everyone likes to make it because it is a chunk of time. I don't know what
It's
noodles
a
you
labor
use,
of
but
love.
like some
Yeah.
you have to boil first, and then you
Yes.
gotta make all the different layers,
Yes.
and then it's laying it down. Like, it is a labor of love.
Yeah, it is.
That is so good.
Thank you so much. I mean, yeah, I remember when I started, I was talking with Terry Stacy and Mel McMahon on WIBC, and they were like, "So how are things going?" And I'm like, "Well, you know, I'm making like a couple this weekend, and now I'm doing 15 a day."
Oh my gosh,
That's usually what I do.
that is wild.
Mhm.
How do you? So I always wonder this because I love passions like in your career and in your work. How do you balance that at home? Like when you get home, are you like, I don't want to be in the kitchen, I don't want to touch anything? Like, what is that like?
No, I still go home. I still cook dinner. I still binge watch, TV.
Yeah.
My husband's amazing. He's super supportive. I mean, he goes and gets cheese for me at 7 o'clock in the morning when I'm out. I mean, he just, it's just been amazing. It's been an amazing, growth opportunity just for our relationship. I mean, we've been married for 15 years, but it's like a total different dynamic. It's just like, he has his own job and he's an engineer, but I'm like, you need to saute those onions for me this morning. I mean, just like, you need to do that. And he's like, what do I do? I'm like, how long have I been doing this? Give me a break.
I just picture the uncertain amount of olive oil. That
Oh
shit
yeah,
going
for
on the
sure.
pan,
He doesn't even, he doesn't put in olive oil.
Oh.
I'm like, yeah.
It's like, babe, just
Yeah.
do the thing.
Do this.
Yeah.
Stir, yeah. Crazy.
That is so funny. Is there any other advice that you would give to somebody who is maybe battling with imposter syndrome or trying to make that jump but just hasn't yet?
It's not a mistake.
Yeah.
I mean, I know some people that battle with imposter syndrome, and it's like, you were put here for this. It's not a mistake. Stop questioning it. Just put it out in the universe, and the universe will comply whether you like it or not. I've had some of that, mojo on my own, but yeah, I always say, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I have so many things to do, and I'm like, not saying I'm not grateful. I'm very grateful. I'm just trying to figure it all out. So yeah.
I love that you say it louder to make sure the universe hears that.
Oh
you're
yeah, they
thankful.
hear. They know. Yeah.
It's just working through those everyday pieces. I mean, what is that balance like for you? I mean, 15 lasagnas a day. I'm just trying to think, when do you do bookkeeping? When do you do, the marketing piece of it?
Oh, I don't do any. I mean, I do marketing, and it's so funny because I was talking to somebody I used to work with in social media,
Yeah.
and I'm like, dude, I hate doing my own social media. It sucks. Now I know why people paid us to do this stuff, because it's so hard to manage that and then doing the lasagnas and then answering phone calls and answering questions, because I make myself available to people. So yeah, it's hard, but somehow I do it.
It's a lot of energy too, especially because you come from that background. I know, social media marketing is such not a new field, but there's more conversation about it. And so like a lot of our interns are like, I want to try this, I want to do that. And I'm like, awesome.
Great, just go for it.
It's so much energy because you're putting all of yourself into these things, and then you're attending networking events or like chatting with people, and then it's like you have to be on, in a sense, online to build some of those online relationships too.
Yeah, that's one thing that I do not miss about my previous careers is that I had to be on, like you said. Like I'm on right now. I don't feel like I'm really on though, but I'm on a little bit. But
we're not
it's
kicking it
not.
back.
No, it's not like going to a conference and speaking in front of 100 people during insurance stuff. I mean, it's not like that. But and if you follow me on Twitter, I'm sorry, but I just kind of say what I mean.
Yeah.
Sometimes I stop myself because I'm like, wait a minute, I'm a business owner, you can't. But yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. So, final question for you. I ask all my female founders, how do you inspire yourself? It's meant to be kind of a hard question.
Yeah, so here I'll give you a great example.
Yes.
I've been married for 15 years this year, and I have Samantha, I have a stepdaughter, and I'm kind of like, she knows what I do or whatever, and but she sent me an apron with my name embroidered on it, and she had never done anything like that before, and I thought, wow, she really believes in what I'm doing. And I talk to people that have lost people, and they're like, oh my God, your lasagna helped so much, thank you so much. Or somebody will message me and be like, my mom loved your lasagna. Or my sister said that her lasagna is just like her mom's that passed away. I mean, it's just, I'm kind of like an extension of those relationships, whether they're current or not or whatever, and it's just it gets to your heart. It means a lot. It means a lot to me. It does. And it's just amazing.
That's so incredible, and to be part of people's lives in such an intimate way by doing something that we love. I feel like that's hard to replace with anything else. I mean, especially once
I could never do anything else now. I can never do anything else.
That's incredible. Okay, so how can our viewers either order or keep up with you online?
Don't follow me on Twitter. No. So I have a website you can order. It's www.sendafriendlasagna.com, and I'm on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, all under the same name.
And that's at Send a Friend a Lasagna. Perfect.
Yeah, Send a Friend Lasagna.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for tuning in and joining us for this Founder to Founder. Our interviews drop the third Friday of every month, and we will see you next time. Bye.